All right, hey guys, and welcome back to 234 in La Casa. Today I'm going to do a one-pot meal. We'll do a cheeseburger macaroni, similar to Hamburger Helper, but everything from scratch. So I'm going to bring you all over and show you the ingredients, and don't forget to like, share, comment, and subscribe. See you in just a second. Okay guys, so for this this meal, we're going to use I'm going to use ground beef. I have 80/20. So first I'm going to go ahead and brown some onion. I've already diced it up. I'm going to put some butter in the bottom of this stock pot. And this is a, let's see here. I'm going to turn it on medium heat. And I'm going to go ahead and add this butter. And then I'll bring the camera down so you all can see better. And this is a one-pot meal, so you won't need to use multiple pots for this particular meal. And it may be also, I'm gonna make it part of my Dinner and a Dash series too. I don't think it's gonna take very long to make this. I've made it before, but I've never timed myself, but let me bring you all down so you can see. All right, and so I've got my butter there, it's melting. I'm gonna go ahead and just add some onion. That's probably like 1/4 of a cup of diced onion that I'm adding to that. To the butter, and I'm going to saute it and get it softened. And I'm going to add just a little bit of salt so that those onions can go ahead and start sweating. And for this recipe, we're going to use elbow macaroni noodles, but you can use any kind of noodle that you would like, whatever works for your family, okay? Or for yourself, whatever works for yourself. Okay, and so that butter is just getting melted, and so I'll bring you all back when this starts to, when the butter's all the way melted and it starts to saute and everything. I'll bring y'all back in just a second. All right, y'all, so this has been sauteing for about 2 minutes. I'm gonna turn it down just a little bit and let it saute for another 2 minutes, and then I'll bring y'all back so I can show you the progress. All right, so that's been sauteing. I'm gonna go ahead and remove these onions from the heat. They've gotten soft, and I'm gonna just put these to the side for just a second. And actually, what I'm going to go ahead and do, I'm just going to go ahead and add my ground beef to this. I'm going to turn this off really quick. I'm just going to add my 80/20 to this. And my 80/20 is a little frozen, so I'm going to add some water to the pot to help it to go ahead and break down. Okay, so I just added a little bit of water to it. I wanted my meat to cook with the onion anyway, and then I'm going to go ahead and salt and pepper the meat, okay? And then I'm going to turn my eye back on. I just didn't want anything to start cooking too fast, so. Okay, so that's ground black pepper. And some kosher salt. And you just add as much salt and pepper as you think that that suits your taste. Okay, I'm gonna grab a fork. Go ahead and turn that over. Okay, so that's coming along, and I'm going to go ahead and put the lid on this to help this go ahead and break down and cook some more since it's frozen. And I'm going to turn the eye down to medium, put the top on, and kind of just let it simmer here for just a minute. Okay, and I'll bring you all back once it's done. All right, guys, so I've got the protein, the 80/20, taken out of the pot. I have a little bit of the broth from the 80/20 still. I've put some of it in this bowl with the protein, and now I've got about a tablespoon of roux in the bottom of this, and roux is just equal parts butter and flour, and so I've got about a tablespoon of roux in here. I have my my stove on medium, and I've added about 1.5 cups of whole milk here, and I'll show you which whole milk I used. So there's the whole milk. Okay, and so I'm just going to whisk this until it is thickened. And I'll probably add just a little bit more roux to this as well. But I'll just see how this goes before adding some more. And this is going to be our base for the cheese sauce for the cheeseburger macaroni. So I'm going to go ahead and add about another ½ tablespoon of roux to this. And I'll probably go ahead and add just a little bit more as well. And this is a really quick meal during the week, you know, when you have a busy week at home. This is a really good quick meal. My family enjoys this meal. I'm going to add about a tablespoon to 2 tablespoons of tomato paste. And this is the tomato paste I'm going to be using. Okay, so that's about as much tomato paste as I'm going to use right there. Let me get a little bit more on that. Okay. And so you can tell that this is thickened up, and there's your tomato paste that's in there. Okay, and then to this, I'm gonna go ahead and add just a little bit more milk. Okay. And I think I added about another cup of milk there. Okay, and then to this, we're gonna add some Velveeta cheese. I didn't keep my box. I normally keep it in the, after I've opened it, I just keep it in the foil. So I'm gonna go ahead and get some Velveeta cheese added to this. And it's probably, it's just however much cheese you like. But this is gonna be about, that's probably about maybe a cup. Maybe about a cup and a half. I may end up using this entire thing. I don't know yet. And I'm also going to add some whipped cream cheese. And it's gonna be about 1/4 of a cup to 1/3 of a cup of whipped cream cheese that I'm adding, okay? Okay, and then to this, I'm gonna add about a cup of beef broth. I usually use beef base for my chicken broths and things like that, and beef broth, but tonight I'm just gonna use some beef broth, okay? And I'm gonna add probably about a cup, okay? And then I'm gonna whisk this together. And it's not gonna take it long for it to kind of smooth out. Just, you know, just give it a moment. The cream cheese is gonna go away with this particular whisk that I use. You won't see any of those cream cheese bits. But it's always good to have your cream cheese already out at room temperature. So that way it goes ahead and melts well into whatever you're gonna be cooking as well. That's just a you know, little tip. And I'm gonna add some more beef broth to this. Probably about another ½ cup. And I'm gonna add some black pepper. And I'm gonna add some salt. While that is cooking, I'm gonna also go ahead and, I know I said one pot meal, but I'm gonna use a separate pot for my macaroni noodles, because the macaroni noodles, of course, they have to boil, and I don't wanna put them in this pot with cheese and try to boil the cheese and all that and end up burning the cheese. So I'm just going to put about 2 cups of beef broth in a separate pot. I'm gonna boil my macaroni noodles in this beef broth, okay? Let me go ahead and turn that on so it can come to a boil. And of course, this dish has onion already in it. That onion smells fabulous. You can see the Velveeta is melting. And so it's kind of changing the color of this from that reddish color from the tomato paste to more of a cheese, of the color of what a cheese would look like, okay? So don't become alarmed if, you know, you start adding stuff and it doesn't look quite right, it's gonna be okay. You just have to kind of let these things meld together, okay? Just give it a moment. Okay, so the beef broth is starting to boil. I'm gonna go ahead and add my elbow noodles to the pot. I've turned my cheese sauce off. I don't want it to scorch or anything. And it is ready. The block of Velveeta looks like it needs to melt a little bit more, but I've turned this off. So let me go ahead, and this is a 16-ounce bag of macaroni noodles. And so I added about half the bag, and I'm gonna see what that gets me. Let me go ahead and kind of stir that up some. I want these noodles to soak up this beef broth, so that's why I didn't put a whole lot of broth in here. I may add some water to this, like enough to go in this bowl. I hope you all can see over there. Let me make sure. My other ring light broke right before I started filming the food part of this, and so it was kind of had me rattled a little bit, and I had to go run into another room and get another ring light. And so this one I use for another business that I have, so I had to get it adjusted into the kitchen. So it's just, if I sound a little bit off, that's the reason why, which I wasn't anticipating that happening. But you just have to roll with the punches and try to just keep it moving as much as possible. So you all can see here, see all that cream cheese that was, you know, the little white dots and all that, that's all gone. It's dissolved. This is my favorite whisk. I love this thing. I've had it for years. I just love how it breaks up all of that. So, and I actually think that it's supposed to be used like for a bar or something, like for drinks or something. And so I used it as a whisk. So anyway, all right. And I have tasted this cheese sauce. It tastes really good. And I'm gonna add just a few more macaroni noodles, just a few. Of course, they're gonna soak up a lot of your broth, so, and even your cheese sauce. So I'm not gonna add a whole lot because I don't want it to get dry. So I'm just adding just a few there, a few extra, and that's all I'm gonna do. Because it may not look like a lot, but they will swell, especially in the cheeseburger macaroni, in the cheese sauce. So they're not going to stay little. Okay, and so once those noodles are done, I will bring you all back. Okay, y'all, so the noodles are ready pretty much. They're al dente. So I'm going to add the noodles to the cheese sauce just like this, because there's beef broth that I cooked it in, and so I'm just going to add this. Okay. And they will continue to swell in the cheese sauce. Go ahead and get this macaroni incorporated. Okay. And I'm telling you, it doesn't look like much, but that macaroni will swell, and it is going to, you know, begin to drink up, quote unquote, this cheese sauce. And then to this, I'm going to go ahead and add my 80-20 back to it, okay, to the cheese sauce. And I may not add back all of the drippings that came out of the protein, just because I don't want it to be so much liquid in here that the macaroni noodles are unable to absorb the excess moisture. Okay, so I'm probably not going to add all of that. So I'm kind of like pressing the protein down a little bit, kind of draining. If you can see it kind of running, I'm kind of pressing that down to get rid of some of that, some of the drippings before I put it in the cheeseburger macaroni dish, okay? All right, I'm gonna leave it at that. And now I'm going to go ahead and get this mixed together. And then I am going to grate some cheese to put on top of this and put a lid on it to give this time to kind of meld together. Sometimes I will put my cheeseburger macaroni in the oven to melt the cheese, but I'm not gonna do that this time. I think I'm just going to allow, because I'm trying to look at these noodles and make sure that I'm fine with the amount. So I'm just inspecting because you definitely don't want to have more noodles than, more protein than noodles. I think I'm going to, I'm still going to put the lid on this, but I'm going to get a small saucepan and I'll show you the size I'm going to use. This is the size saucepan that I'm going to use, and I'm going to go ahead and bring that to a boil, and I will probably add about a half a cup more noodles to this water, boil it really quickly and add to it. But while I do that, I'm going to go ahead and place the lid on this cheeseburger macaroni and allow it to continue cooking itself, okay? And so I will bring you all back momentarily. Okay, and so this is boiling now, and so I'm going to go ahead and add about half a cup of noodles to it, okay? All right, so y'all can kind of see about how much I'm adding. I don't want to add too much. I can't stand like dry casseroles because the noodles soaked everything up, so I just, you know... So I'm going to let that cook, and then I will bring you all back when those macaroni noodles are done. All right, y'all. So this is, the noodles are ready. I'm going to drain these off. All right, and so I'm going to get these incorporated. And it's been about maybe 7 minutes or so. So I'm going to add these, and then I'll mix them in, and you'll be able to tell the difference since this has been sitting here, how much the noodles have soaked up the cheese sauce. It'll be a significant difference than what you saw before. Okay. You see that? And I hadn't even stirred it up before I started recording. I just know how it kind of goes. It's amazing how much pastas, rices and things soak up liquid and continue to swell. So there you go. That's it. And then I'm going to taste this, and then let me grab a tasting spoon. Let me see. And see if it needs anything else. It's good. I'm going to add just a little bit more salt, just a little, and then I'm gonna go ahead and add a little bit of Tony Chacheres, okay, y'all? Okay, and so this is the Tony Chacheres, and I'm just gonna add just a little bit, not too much, because it has some heat to it, and it's heavy salt. So I'm just gonna add just a touch, because I don't really think it needs a whole lot. And let me get that mixed in, and then I'm gonna go ahead, well, let me get this mixed in. Hold on for just a second. So then now I'm just gonna taste the spoon just to see how it tastes now. I just thought it needed just a little bit something else. And I may add some garlic powder to it, but let me taste this, hold on. That's good. I'm gonna add some black pepper and I'll be done. Let me add some more black pepper and then mix that in. And then I've grated some cheese. And it's Colby Jack cheese. I have it fresh grated. We mix in that pepper. And then I'll put the lid on this and let that cheese melt, and it'll be done. Let me go get the cheese and show you all what that looks like. And this is really good with cornbread, like oven cornbread, or rolls, if that's what crescent rolls or like the Hawaiian rolls. But I prefer stuff like this with like cornbread, sweet cornbread. It's good to me. Let me get this cheese. And this is the cheese that I used. It was the last of that cheese, but that's it right there. It's a Kroger brand Colby Jack. And so I'm just going to just sprinkle some on top. And I don't want to have a whole lot on it because I don't like when cheese, you know, fresh cheese kind of curdles and kind of it takes the smoothness of your cheese dish away. So I'm just going to put some on, just a little bit on top. I don't want to overwhelm it with cheese, block cheese. Okay. All right, so there we go. I'm gonna add just a little bit more there, and just to give it some coverage. And some there. Okay, and then now I'm gonna put the lid on this and allow it to sit for about 15 minutes or so that the cheese can melt, and I'll bring y'all back in just a second. Okay, y'all, so my husband has to get ready to go to work, and so I'm gonna go ahead and take the lid off. The cheese is not quite melted yet, but I've got to fix his lunch. So I'm gonna take the lid off, and you can tell it started melting around the edges, but I've got to go ahead and fix his. But I did want you all at least see like some of the melted cheese there. But you know, life happens, and that's just what happens. So I'm gonna go ahead and serve his, but you can see that cheese. See that? This is a wonderful dish. And then I've got corn on the cob over there. And normally I'll have like some other, like a green vegetable to go with this as well. But my kids have already eaten this evening, and so I'm not gonna add anything else but the corn on the cob and just some cornbread and the cheeseburger macaroni. This is an excellent recipe for you and your family or your relatives, or just for you yourself. It's a wonderful dish, universally loved. My family loves it. Okay, so I will go ahead and let me show you all the corn on the cob before I go. Let's see here. Okay, and you know, I've made this corn on the cob for you all before on this channel. And I'm going to get some of this broth. See how low the liquid is? And I do that on purpose because I want the broth to soak into those corn cobs. And it just makes your corn taste better. Okay? All right, you guys. Well, I will see you all next time here on 234 in La Casa. I'll see you all next time. And don't forget to like, share, comment, and subscribe, okay? Y'all have a good day, and see y'all next time.